sports fans, and thank you for listening to State of My Sports, where we talk about State of Michigan sports and State of Michigan beer. If you aren't following us on social media yet, please do so by searching State of MI Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast along with our YouTube channel so you do not miss an episode. For even more content, check out our website, stateofmisports.com. Before we get into the episode, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. The Hops Brewing Company and Cafe is the official brewery of State of My Sports. Siciliano's Market helps us pick out the best Michigan beers for each and every episode. Also, Caleb from Mac Web Design helped us get our website created. So check out all of our sponsors and let them know that we sent you. All right. Thanks for checking out episode 94. Today we're going to touch on the Blake Griffin saga with the Detroit Pistons. We're going to dive into the Detroit Tigers, and spring training is right around the corner. So that's pretty exciting. It wouldn't look like it outside. I mean, what do we have, like a couple feet of snow now?
It was 4 degrees.
You talking in Texas or in Michigan?
Yeah, both. Really.
Okay.
It was 4 when I was driving over here.
It's the end of the world over there.
It's rough.
But then we're going to talk a little bit about the tossing of the trophy and the disrespect of Tom Brady. I mean, I cannot believe he would ever do that.
The terrible
disrespect.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little about that, and then we're going to talk about who owes us an apology, or who we think owes us an apology in sports, basically. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully you guys jump in and throw yours on as well on the Facebook. We're also going to crown a betting hero champion because we forgot to do that last week. Then we're going to have some fun with some Vegas odds and talk a little bit about that with our betting hero segment. And then, of course, we're going to grade some Siciliano's Michigan beers. I am Sam Waltart. With me today we got Micah Smith, Ryan Waltart, and Kyle Fossey over there. We're ready to drink beer.
Yes.
We're ready to talk some Michigan sports.
Yes.
We're ready to try to have a good time doing it, right? It's going to be a good time. I'm excited for this episode.
We'll have a good time.
Are you guys excited for this episode?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I am. I've just been on my phone the whole time.
What are you most excited for about this episode, Micah?
The disrespect. I want to hear
You
this
hear
clip
the
later.
disrespect?
Oh,
I do.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we got
it's
some
baseball.
We got some audio. I'm really excited for the baseball. I was researching today, and I was like, or last night, and then a little bit into it. Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited for spring training and then baseball in general.
It means so much.
Yeah,
Like it's the turn of the season. It's
it
all
really
these things.
is one of the best times of the year
It is
because it gives you hope. Like it feels like this is the dead of winter, which we kind of are, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know, you just get
You
so
get that
excited
hope,
to listen to a game
You
or
get
watch
that
a
little-
spring training game.
You just get that tingle.
Well,
All that good
baseball leads into summer, and then when summer comes to a close, football's rolling around. It's just kind of
it's
the
crazy.
circle of life.
This
Heck,
is
man,
the-
why are you doing that?
Yeah,
Football means
bring-
winter's coming.
I mean, we can do draft.
In the middle of
You want
winter.
to do a mock draft real quick before we get into the episode? Let's do it, right? I think we should do a mock. There we go.
Wait, are we not doing a mock draft?
Not
Why
today.
would we not do a mock
I am
draft?
delaying it because I know Kyle's going to be gone in a couple weeks, and that's when we'll get all
that's
that out of our
true,
systems here. So, Kyle, you're actually, is it next week? When do you leave? Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to Disney World.
Is that place any cool, or do people like that place?
People love that place.
Yeah?
People like me love that place. Yeah, we try to go about once a year. It's kind of a nostalgic thing. My parents had their honeymoon there when it opened.
Oh.
It was like,
Whoa.
when it opened is when they got married and all that kind of stuff. So, so they like taking kind of the whole family. Although it's getting pretty big, it's a lot of people now.
Yeah, well, what's the capacity? Like, what can they do?
They're at like 35%.
Which is awesome, I'm sure.
It's way better for being there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You don't wait for rides as much.
Did they increase prices because of it? Like,
No, but they're not offering any like discounts. No help, no nothing, because they don't want crowds to increase.
okay.
They want to keep it where it is. Obviously, right now with everything going on. So,
Well, and they need to make their money too, right?
they put their quarterly report out. Was it last Friday? I think the parks side of Disney in Q4 lost $1 billion.
Holy smokes. I'd be curious of what the percentage is of Disney. Like,
Whoa.
how much percent is their Disney park compared to like their whole?
good
Obviously,
question.
like everything. Like, it's probably pretty small, right? They have so
It's a
many
good
like
chunk,
different
though.
ventures, if that's right.
They do. They have all kinds of different. The thing carrying that company right now is Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like 95 million subscribers to that, and
Holy smokes! Well,
Just for the Mandalorian. That's
most of
about
them
it.
are most of them are free though, aren't they? Because they're Verizon.
they're just
They gave like everybody didn't have
Means
to pay for
Verizon's
the
about
first
to go
year.
under then.
exactly. Don't
Actually,
Yes.
Verizon takes so much of my money. They're never going under.
No,
no,
it
it's
doesn't
so
work.
expensive.
Yeah,
It's so expensive.
Definitely doesn't work that. They do not care about that. So, but anyways, Micah, you were on actual vacation. So
I
obviously,
was.
yeah,
Okay, talking about
No, I
bills.
was on work vacation.
work
you know.
vacation. Yeah,
We're gonna. Me and Ryan like to talk about bills
Yeah,
for a
let's
while.
get into
longer.
mortgage. Yeah.
Like, what rate are you at? 15 years?
2.375. Just refinanced.
Ooh,
Oh,
good for you.
that's
Yeah,
solid.
thank you.
15 year?
15.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Man,
Sam, you're at
ooh.
15 year.
I'm at 15 year, but I'm not that low. I'm at 3%, which we did.
Still
it was,
wild.
It was a
low.
year ago
Unreal,
in
yeah.
October, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not happy that Ryan did better than me in this one.
Right? Maybe refinance again.
We actually explored it.
Yeah.
But
They say 0.5%.
half
right? If you
percent,
can-
which I
yeah.
don't know if we can get a full 0.5% or not. I mean, I'm sure. I guess we probably could.
Sounds like you could.
Yeah.
His credit's rough. He's got that bankruptcy.
Oh
Yeah.
That business
My
that he
new-
just invested in.
Yeah.
He tried to start
LLC.
he tried to start a media.
Why would you start an LLC right now?
Yeah. What did I?
He tried to start a podcast company and went belly up.
Hasn't gone belly up yet.
Sorry, is going.
Right. Lost tens of dollars. It was really bad.
Put so much
Tens
into
of
it.
dollars.
So much into
It's
it.
so funny. Like, I bought a box for to take pictures of the cans, and I was like, "Is it worth spending $30?" Like, I'm just like, man, I don't know. So I
can
spent
see you
$30.
worrying about
I
that.
get really worried about that kind of stuff. I don't know why, but that stuff stresses me out. But
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry,
before,
we're talking about Micah being on
Yeah, I think we
vacation.
were.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Micah, how was your trip to Florida?
It was excellent. It
Yeah.
was warm. It was the complete opposite of here. So I don't have a whole lot to complain about.
Wait, was this a last minute thing? Because I saw
yeah.
you were there, and I'd sent you a message. I was waiting, but I didn't. Or I sent you like something on Instagram or something. But then I said to Sam, like, were they planning on going? You didn't even say anything about it.
I was
kind
trying.
of last minute.
I was trying to do this earlier in the year, and it just didn't work out. And I just had enough time to make it happen, so
Yeah,
made it happen last minute. Booked a resort, and away we went. So
Beautiful.
kids had
Beautiful.
fun. It was warm weather.
Now you were telling me a little bit about an incident that you guys had.
Oh yeah, yeah. So your son Easton is not alone in the stung by a jellyfish
Yeah.
club anymore.
Yeah, he got
Oh.
stung
Nope.
when we were there. Whenever it was, I don't remember when.
Yeah.
June? No, it wouldn't be in June.
September.
September, October. Yeah, it was October. October. Yeah. So what happened?
Yeah. So get there to the beach, our second day there, and we're sitting out, and one of the locals walks by. He says, "Hey, you got to watch out for these little blue balloons." And I was like, "Oh, those are jellyfish." I said, "Okay." So the kids get in the water. 5 minutes goes by. Sloan is screaming,
Oh boy.
yeah.
bloody murder. I'm like, she probably stepped on a shell. Nope. There's a little man of war tentacle around her toes.
Oof.
Ooh.
Whoa, like still there?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So lifeguard runs out. He's got the spray in his hand, and he asks me to get it off as he's trying to scrape it off with the credit card. He goes, "You get it off." I said, "What? With my fingers?" He goes, "Yeah, pull it off with your fingers."
Get
I'm
it
like,
off with your fingers.
Take it
Okay.
with your teeth.
Get down and dirty in there.
Yeah. So, ripped it off with my fingers, and I'm thinking I'm going to have some bad reaction, but
Right.
it was more about my kid.
Oh, yeah, you
than
did. That's why you
me.
did it.
That's
Yeah,
why I did
yeah.
it. So, yeah, Sloan is in the Stung by a Jellyfish Club.
That's a really rough club to be in. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, your son got stung by one too?
Yeah, he did. I think allegedly. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
I mean, I guess
Are
we
gonna go
won't
back and
see.
check tape?
Like, yeah, the evidence is still to be reviewed.
We didn't have the evidence like Micah's daughter had, like with it still wrapped.
He just screamed. Yeah, he never does that.
He
right?
screamed. Yeah, like, so I love my son. He gets a little extreme about stuff, and he'll scream over just about nothing. And
I got one like that.
and then I mean, I love my wife, but she jumps to conclusions very quickly, and
Sure.
I think that it might have happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That escalated quickly.
it did. It did.
Jellyfish.
I'm not saying either of them are liars. I'm just saying it.
No,
There's
of course not.
people can think something
Right.
is true.
So you're saying you don't think Andrea's a liar?
I do not think Andrea's a liar. I think Andrea is one of the most truthful people you'll ever meet.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to repeat what you said off air?
No, that was just between
He's digging
us.
himself out of a hole.
Wow, what are you doing to me? What? I don't even know where to go from
Were
this.
we talking about Blake Griffin or no?
Yeah,
Did we talk about that yet?
Yeah. So Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Blake Griffin?
Yeah, sure. So Blake Griffin, basically, Griffin and the Pistons have struck an agreement that makes it so he does not have to play until his future is figured out with the team. What that basically means is they're going to trade him or they're going to buy out his contract, and he doesn't want to play until he moves on to a different team. They don't want to risk injury. They don't want to risk basically, at this point, him playing is going to hurt his stock for himself to get to a contending team, or even for the Pistons, because they're trying to ship him off.
I found it very weird that it was like he didn't want to play for his own health's sake. Like I feel like he's been a very good professional in Detroit, and for the most part,
That's debatable.
I don't know. I think he's gone through some problems, obviously, but. I mean, for him to be like, what does he expect? Who's going to want this guy is my question. What kind of contender is going to be like, yeah, we'll take a Blake Griffin that can get 3 inches off the floor?
Well, here's the thing. A team like the Celtics would actually probably improve with him because he would go to that team and he would be the 4th, 5th, or 6th option. He's not going to be the ball hog with the ball in his hands. If he tries, then he's going to get an earful from his coach, from Jason Tatum, from Jaylen Brown. So there would be a pecking order already, and right now he's the big man on campus. He's the guy on the Pistons.
Okay.
Even though it's really not him, it's Jeremy Grant or Josh Jackson or anybody else really. It's still he is the guy. He's got his place on that team. When he moves to a new team, he has to reestablish that himself, which means that he has to live up to all of his teammates around him. He's not going to be the ball hog. Not to say that he would be a good player, but he would fill a role for a team like the Celtics that could probably add some value. What that value is, maybe a second-round pick, or maybe they just wait for the Pistons to buy him out because they don't think there's a market for him.
Yeah, and I'm
What's
curious
that
how the buyouts.
It's pretty heavy, isn't it?
36.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we saying? 75. Yeah.
Yeah, and then is it next year or is it one more year after that even? Is it one?
He's got a player
so one
option.
after this one. He has
coming.
it's a player option next year.
That's crazy.
He's got.
I think he has 2 player options.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
John's over there. He knows everything about the contract, and he's the only one without a microphone.
Yeah, I should have got set one. I didn't even think
You
about
should
that.
take mine.
He's shaking his
I'll
head.
just play sound
He's
effects.
shaking his head. I'm like guessing. I'm like 34, 35. He's like, no.
Anyways, it is a lot of money,
like,
and I think that's going to be the
Cha-ching.
problem. Is obviously you'd rather see a trade. You're not going to get a lot of value for him, basically because they're going to have to eat a contract unless you can find a way to hold on to the contract and just. I don't know how NBA trades work, but I know for a fact that like it has to work financially. So if he's, let's say, $36 million, $35 million, whatever it is, they have to trade back that same amount of money in return. Like you can't just dump off a contract without taking on a contract. Not the Tiger. We'll get into the Tigers. I'm very excited to talk Tigers.
Oh, boy.
But I mean the Pistons, they don't really. I don't even know where I was going.
That's just an impossible contract to move because you're going to have to balance that out with something.
He doesn't even know where he's going.
So some other team is going to have a player just as bad with just as bad a contract as Griffin to make this work, or maybe 2 or 3 of them. So when the Pistons, if they were to buy out his contract, it would essentially be exactly the same thing that they'd be getting in return for this, and maybe a second-round pick. That's the biggest upside that we could try to come out with this.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, and I think I basically learned this from you, is like the best thing about this is the fact that he's not going to be playing anymore. Other than the fact that, I mean, it'd be still kind of nice to lose more games. We'll get into that maybe in a couple weeks. But
we need to be top 5.
But I mean, he's
Or
not going to
bottom
be
5.
In losses. Yeah.
They can do that.
Him not playing makes this team head and shoulders better. Not only for this year, but development as well. So it's Sadiq.
Yeah.
Is it Sadiq Bey that's going to get the playing time?
Sadiq Bey usually starts when Blake Griffin's not starting. Yes, and he has been tearing it up lately. He's a really good young player. He was NBA ready in college, and he's proving it right now. He's got an NBA body, but the other guy is Sekou Doumbouya.
Sekou, yeah.
And he will have to get minutes without Blake Griffin out there. And I don't know what the deal is with him and Casey, but there's something going on. I think there's like he's putting his foot down, probably making him go through the whole learning curve, or making him want it more, or work harder. Or something is going on. Without Blake Griffin there, he's going to have to fill those minutes.
Yeah, I think we'll get into it as time goes on. I don't think we know enough to really have like a perspective of where he's going to go or when yet. When it happens, I think we'll definitely make time to talk about it a little bit more. But I mean, for the most part, it's just about him. It's a good thing that they're splitting up, in my opinion.
Didn't Sadiq have like 34 points the other night?
I think it was I thought it was 30, but I think
it's
was
32. But he went 7. He went 7 for 7. 7 for 7 from 3-point.
That's
yeah.
insane.
I'm gonna look it up.
7 for 7.
Yeah, let's have that.
I think he was like 9 of 10 or 10 or 11 or something. From the field. It's crazy.
But it was like he had. I thought it was 30 minutes and like 30 points in like 27 minutes or something along those lines. But I could be wrong.
Awesome.
It is time to introduce our Michigan beers for this episode, but before we do, I want to remind everyone of our partner, Siciliano's Market. They are simply the best beer store in West Michigan, located on Lake Michigan Drive, right between Grand Valley State University's main campus and downtown Grand Rapids. Wherever you live in West Michigan, it is worth the short drive for what they have to offer. Whether you know what you want or need some help from their expert staff, Siciliano's Market is the best place for that. They not only have a massive and up-to-date inventory of the best craft beers from across our great nation, they are individually priced so you can mix and match to build your own six-pack. They obviously have a great selection of craft beer. They also have specialty wines, spirits, ciders, coffee, tea, tobacco, and cigars. Siciliano's Market also has the largest selection of homebrew and winemaking supplies in West Michigan. We love that Siciliano's Market is part of the State of My Sports family, and it is who we visit to help us choose our Michigan beers for each and every episode. So please check them out and let them know that we sent you. So for the record, he had 30 points in 27 minutes. Micah just looked it up.
So Micah was right.
So we were all right.
What's wrong?
Also, I got to say, Sam, you have really improved your reading skills.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I get it right every time now. It's amazing.
That was really something.
Actually,
In fact, I never thought it would happen.
It took me like 3 hours just to get that terrible read done. So
cut. He kept it like cut at himself.
Well, Ryan and I did to get the DraftKings read going here. We did that one, and man, how many times? We don't want to get into that. We should have had some bloopers for that one. That was bad. But all right, let's get into some
licensing
beer
agreement.
Let's get into some beer introductions here. Kyle, you want to start us off?
Sure, I do. Sorry, I was just trying to pull up. I had something.
Ryan, you want to start us off?
No, I got it right here.
Sure, hold on. Let me pull something up.
Yeah, exactly. He's in the same boat. Keweenaw Brewing Company, Point Trail Ale. I've not heard of them or tried any of their stuff before. I don't know if you guys have. It's a rye India Pale Ale. Point Trail Rye, PA they call it, is brewed with just enough malted rye to lend a spicy crispness to an already complex and multi-hopped beer. This is there up in South Range, which I am not familiar with the UP. Maybe Micah would know better.
Because he's been there before.
Because he's actually been in that place. Is that like Houghton?
It's close to Houghton.
It's called.
Is it?
Yeah, we had to go around the Keweenaw Peninsula or the harbor to get to Houghton. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You guys should stop there next time you're out there.
I wanted to stop there, and I wanted to stop at the other one.
They are back open, so they were.
Yeah.
They got a lot of. It looks like they're mainly like 3 to 10.
All right, nice,
Cool.
Ryan.
Left Fin IPA is what I'm drinking. This is from MiddleCoast Brewing Company in Traverse City, Michigan. This is their West Coast style IPA. It is a 7.4%er. Basically, this is their take on where they switched a lot of their heavy citrus notes with more spicy and floral hop notes. So it's their take on the West Coast, basically.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, they're also open for home delivery. So if any
the way
state
down
that
here?
allows alcohol to be delivered through the mail, you can actually order online and get it shipped directly to your house.
Can we do that here?
That's pretty cool.
Do they let us do that here?
I don't know. I should look into that.
Does Michigan allow that or no?
Probably not.
Probably, yeah.
Probably
I don't
not.
know.
Michigan kind of sucks for some things.
I'm sure there's a way around it.
Well, they're
Not
pretty-
that I
Lately.
condone doing
they're
that.
pretty strict with liquor laws.
Yeah. Micah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking from Right Brain Brewing CEO Stout. I want to say, Sam, you maybe did this, maybe someone else.
I did this one. I don't remember which episode it was, but it was pretty early, I think.
It was really early, I think. Nonetheless,
Too early.
it's a 5.5%er, so easy to drink. What they say on their can, though, is CEO stands for chocolate, espresso, and oatmeal. These three elements and some other stuff, they say, combine to form an American-style stout that is dark-bodied and complex, yet surprisingly sessionable.
I just assumed only CEOs could drink it.
Oh,
That's why I
that
wasn't
was-
drinking it.
Is there an announcement coming? Yeah, what's going on?
But
This is
so
We're on the outside, Ryan.
what is it that the Barcel guy? He has like the stupid the water cooler. No.
what?
What does he do?
Date?
Like emergency press conference, and he like
Emergency press
stands behind like a water cooler and just has like a microphone on it. I don't know. That guy's hilarious.
But
I've watched a lot of those. I've never seen him do anything like that.
so
No, I could be wrong.
I would say stupid.
really quick though, Right Brain is up in Traverse City, and their hours they kind of strange hours. Wednesday and Thursday they're open from 2 to 8, and then Friday and Saturday 12 to 9, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday closed.
Interesting.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday club. Okay.
Yep.
I am drinking from Arvon Brewing Company. Their 2 times mango double kettle. It is their sour ale with obviously mango. Were you done?
Arvon, never heard of him.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I was done. I was
I
done.
thought you
No.
were like shocked that I was
Never- Nope, you're
talking,
good.
and I thought I cut you off.
Are
there.
you wearing an Arvon shirt?
I am wearing an Arvon shirt. I was worried that Ryan was going to wear it, and I was.
How did you guys
almost
get
did.
Arvon shirts?
When we were at Arvon, there was an episode that
bought them.
I think it was on a really important day of the year, and you happened to
We
just.
supported locally.
I went to one at Arvon. They didn't give me a shirt.
But they didn't give
We
them to us.
supported them,
bought
dude.
it, dude. Come on.
You
Purchase.
You paid for that shirt?
I paid for this shirt.
He used podcast money. I used
Great
my own.
You know he would do that too. Like, hey, Ryan, sorry, budgets.
We
Okay?
don't have
We
podcast
can't-
money, guys.
we
I don't
can't
know why you-
afford-
Only for the CEO.
We can't afford 2 shirts.
podcast money is my allowance that I get from Andrea.
Right?
Let's be honest.
Pretty sure we've closed a couple deals. Here and
Yeah.
there.
Anyways.
But anyways, I mean, you gotta love their sours. Arvon does an amazing job. I think we've talked about their sours almost every episode for the last 10. Like that whatever they do with their sours, they do a great job. Obviously, this one's mango, very fruity. Has a
Mango.
great sour taste to it. They are open most days of the week. You can go on their website, arvonbrewingco.com. You can get reservations. They have really nice like lounge seating, which isn't like at a table, but you can get like nice comfy seats. Not
Great
this
place.
Thursday though, because it's already booked by somebody else. This guy.
For what? What?
I'm taking some coworkers there.
Really?
Yeah,
We
it'll be
were-
fun.
We
I'm
work
excited.
together
Well,
sometimes.
I was gonna say we'll see you there. I'm
We'll see.
working with all of you currently, so
But then they also do deliver as well. So for the people that are looking, does this work or no?
He's having a state of MI sports party and none of us are invited.
No, it's people from work. But anyways, you can kind of see their map of where you can deliver. You can't see it.
no.
But anyways, they deliver
that's not
pretty much
working.
across the whole state of Michigan. So you go on their website if you want it delivered to you. They'll make sure that happens for you. So
The time is finally here. We have breaking news. DraftKings is live in Michigan with mobile sports betting. Yes, that DraftKings. DraftKings has finished crossing their T's, dotting their I's, meaning you can place a bet right now from anywhere in Michigan. For a limited time, the DraftKings Sportsbook app is offering all players a chance to double their money if the Pistons hit a 3. Yeah, you heard that right. All it takes for you to double your money is opting into the promotion and placing your wager, then sit back and watch the threes rain.
this isn't some offshore operation like other gambling sites. DraftKings is a legitimate sportsbook right here in the U.S., so you can be confident that your funds are secure. With the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can bet from wherever, whenever. You don't even need to leave your house.
Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code MIBETS when you sign up. For a limited time, all users can double their money if the Pistons hit a three-pointer. That's right, DraftKings Sportsbook is doubling your money if the Pistons hit just one three-pointer. Don't forget, enter code MIBETS only on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. You must be 21 or older to gamble in the state of Michigan. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. All right, I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about the Detroit Tigers. I know Kyle is very jealous of what the Tigers have done in their history, the long history of winning that the Detroit Tigers have.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
1984, baby.
yeah.
All
I want my 84.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
We'll get
bit.
into it.
But anyways, I mean, I don't know really where to start. I mean, but pitchers and catchers, I think they reported today, right? Is that correct? And then we'll see. Like I just asked Mike, and I should have done this before, to look up kind of dates that we're gonna start seeing coming up. First pitchers and catchers, I think, is today as we're recording here on Tuesday, the 16th. But then the players will probably report this weekend, maybe Sunday. We'll get into it, but I mean it's gonna come
awesome.
very quick, very exciting, and then also Baseball America came out with their top 100 prospect list, and I don't know if you guys have looked at it, but the Tigers have 4 or 5?
I mean, it looks like 5.
Five
right?
players in the top 25.
Is this according to MLB.com or
This
the,
is-
or the
sorry, yeah,
Baseball America?
Sorry, this one's MLB.com.
All right.
I couldn't pull up Baseball America's for some reason. I think you have.
I
do you need
used
a
to be-
subscription for that.
Yeah, for the most
Yeah,
part.
I don't pay.
I used to be a Baseball America guy. Lately, I feel like MLB.com has actually done a better job. So this is good stuff here.
I mean, it probably doesn't vary a whole lot, right?
It can, but
Yeah.
usually not too much at the top. It's usually
Yeah.
like the same top 5 prospects, just rearranged maybe.
But anyways, we'll the top prospects for the Tigers, Mike. Unless you had some dates here, real
Yeah, I
quick.
got the dates. So
All right.
pitchers and catchers report tomorrow.
Oh, it is tomorrow. Okay.
Nice try,
Tomorrow.
Sam.
And
Well,
then
that means that they checked into their hotel today,
Right.
and then they're gonna go to the training camp tomorrow. So my bad. It's kind of like you're going to Disney on what day?
The day before.
Wednesday.
he
But
doesn't
you're-
even know.
But you're not going to Disney, like you're
No, I'm
flying
going that
out.
day.
Oh, okay. What do I know?
Fly out early.
And then first full squad
Kids are gonna
workout
sleep in their clothes.
February 22.
Okay, February 22, and then do you have the first preseason game? Maybe
I
on
will
there?
have that for
All
you
right,
in a
sweet.
minute.
But what I want to do is talk about the top 5 prospects I think are important here. Number 3 overall in MLB.com, Spencer Torkelson. His estimated time to be on the squad is 2022. We'll see. I mean, it's still very early with him. He basically had I don't want to say a throwaway year last year for what happened, but anyways, I think that's really exciting that he's up there. It's more about where he was in college, right, and where he was in the draft. But their first game is actually Sunday, February 28th against the Phillies. So that's actually their first. They might be playing. What do they play? Coastal Carolina? Is that who they play every year or something? Or Coastal,
Yeah, they normally do.
Coastal
Florida Southern.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that happens. It might not because of COVID. But all right, so you got Spencer Torkelson at number 3, Casey Mize still on the list at number 11, Riley Green at number 21, Tarek Skubal at number 24, Matt Manning at number 25. So we saw this Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal last year, and I mean it wasn't exciting. It wasn't anything too. They weren't shut down that everybody would hope, but I think for what we saw, I mean, they're right along where they should be.
I thought it was
what do you
great
think
that they
about
got.
these guys?
I thought it was great they got time last year, and we saw the stuff from a guy like Tarek Skubal. He was from the left side throwing 96, 97 over the top. Just a simple, easy delivery, but just explodes out of his hand. Wipeout slider, but he was learning, the strike zone, and you could see the first couple of games he really struggled, and then his third game he went out and actually pitched kind of a gem, like 7 innings, I think, maybe 1 earned run. And or maybe it was like 5 innings, but either way, he kind of settled down, and then it was up and down from there. But you could see he was flashing something pretty special, in my opinion.
Yeah, overall he looked better than Mize.
Yeah, he really
right?
did. Yeah, but that's kind of the pitcher that Casey Mize is, and I've been trying to, I don't know, melt change everybody's expectations for the kind of pitcher that he is. He's not going to be a Justin Verlander. He's not going to be a guy like that will be unhittable when he gets to the bigs. This is a guy who will pitch to contact a lot.
Okay.
And he completely relies on his fastball and being he has to hit the black outside inside with his fastball to set up his splitter. And so when he's at his best, it's going to be just he's dialed in with his fastball. His curveball will just be like a throw in here and there, but then his splitter will be the out pitch that nobody can touch.
Who would you compare him to? I guess then. I mean, in that way, I feel like every Tigers fan is going to be like,
That's a good question.
yeah, Justin Verlander. He's the next Justin Verlander. He's the next. No, not necessarily. He's probably not the next Max Scherzer either. With that explosive, fastball at the plate that just throws guys off and all these strikeouts. He's not going to be that guy. Is that fair to say? I mean, do you have somebody? I mean, let's say a poor man's, Hall
Greg
of Famer
Maddux.
that you can think of, or let's say a rich
total
man,
random
like
name.
when he's on type thing. That I mean, I guess where do you really know?
Well,
Like,
it's hard to say because there's really not a lot of pitchers that have a splitter or a forkball.
Okay.
So that's not a common repertoire. So I think the best comparison is a guy like Roger Clemens, but he just doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have the raw power of a fastball, that is can be unhittable by itself. So I don't think his fastball is I don't think it has the potential to be like a Roger Clemens.
Okay.
So maybe a poor man's Roger Clemens. You
Okay.
know, when Roger Clemens was not at his winning like Cy Young awards all the time, maybe that's like his upside.
Unless he takes steroids, and then he might be able to find it.
Hey, I'm
like
game.
Clemens.
Yeah, just don't get caught, but I'm game.
Right.
What's funny about this topic, though, is that from an article back in 2018, they compared Mize to Verlander.
Do they really?
Yeah.
And that,
But things
Yeah.
change
yeah.
drastically throughout years. I mean,
Is that what Verlander was coming out? When
you
he
guys got to
was
remember,
approaching, or
Verlander. No, Verlander was throwing 100 miles an hour in the 8th inning.
In his prime.
In his prime, yeah, but he was an easy 96, 97 as a rookie.
Yeah.
And in the So I mean, this is a different kind of comparison. Casey Mize has never lived at 97 miles an hour. Can he hit 97? Yeah, he can, but he dials up for it.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that'll throw 93 to 95, and which sounds a lot like Roger Clemens, in a lot of his years. So it's not a bad thing, but he's going to have command of his fastball. So you'll see years, I think, out of Casey Mize. Well, he can be dominant, but it's because his command of his fastball is there, and nobody can touch his splitter.
Yeah, I think we'll get into a little bit more about like what we'll see from Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal this year. We're not going to see Spencer Torkelson. I don't think personally. It'd be a major shock if he is. It might be very little time if he works his way up. But there's also no rush on that. Same thing with Riley Green. I know everybody's excited to see these guys, but you don't want to rush them, especially in this type of season that we're gonna say one more time. Unfortunately, it is gonna be another odd season, and I think it's a good season for them to stay, like, put them where they're comfortable. Don't move them around. Probably Double-A. Do you think that's a good spot for both of these guys? I mean, that's kind of where hitters kind of develop. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that could be fair. I mean, he didn't have time last year in the minors. Like, that was such a weird year for these prospects. They did not see pro pitching. They were looking at their teammates. That's all they did. They just played against their teammates. So it was an inter squad all the time. It wouldn't surprise me if he started at high A.
That's West Michigan now, right?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them are more, or I guess either one of them. Like Torkelson.
It would not surprise me if both of them were, in West Michigan to start. Torkelson would have the better chance of starting at Double-A.
Yeah, I think the way and this is just my perspective, is in this season you don't want to move these guys from city to city more than you have to. So I feel like they are going to put them where they want them to finish. You know what I mean? So if they expect, let's say, Riley Green to work his way up to Double-A, they'll probably start him there, and probably just keep him there. And that's the way I would handle it with these type of players. You don't need to work your way up. You're not going to be moved around. Like, this is where you're going to be. This is going to be your season. This is your team. I think both of them will probably start in Double-A and stay there all year long. But that's just, I guess. I mean, we'll see. It's hard to say. But if they're in West Michigan, oh boy, I'm going to have a good time going to those Whitecaps games if we can go.
Look, I just think with the depth of the Tigers right now, it would not surprise me if Torkelson is raking, because he's the great unknown. He was the number 1 overall pick. He just mashed the baseball in college.
Yeah.
So if he continues that kind of production in the minors, he's a 1 or 2 injuries away from getting some time late in the year with the big club.
So last one on the top 25 here list here is Matt Manning. Did we see Matt Manning last year in the Tigers? I don't think we
did.
Did
no,
we?
so him and Alex Vallejo both were put on the IL for COVID.
That's
list,
right.
Or pretty
That's
early
right,
on.
Yeah.
And because of that, it delayed their development or their work to get into the season. And the season was so short, they basically just pulled a plug before he had a chance to do it.
Yeah.
So
Do you think he could find his way into the majors this year?
I do. I think he could get some time. And we're talking about Casey Mize, Tarek Skubal, and Matt Manning all getting time in Detroit. Like, it's a fun time to be a Tigers fan, just watching these young guys and really learning what we have in them.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with these guys. I think, and I'm not sure the way the service time all works, but I'm pretty sure that they got a freebie last year because they started late.
They did.
I think they could hold them out for what is that deadline? Is it 12 or 18 games that you get a whole nother year of control? I don't think any of these guys are going to start in the bigs this year. Do you think that any of these guys will make the opening roster?
You don't think Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal will?
I don't. I really don't. I think that they brought in some arms to. I think they're more concerned about the service time. I really do. And if you can delay that extra contract, it's the smart thing to do. And I feel like that's what this organization's doing is they're looking big time to the future. They have arms in there. We'll get into more of the arms in a minute. But I guess that's kind of we'll get in. We'll touch on that here soon. I didn't want to keep talking about the prospects. So that was kind of tier one of the Tigers prospects. You go to tier two. You got Isaac Paredes, Dylan Dingler, who's the catcher that was drafted second round.
Second round.
Then you got Joey Wentz, who was a part of a trade 2 years ago, and then Daz Cameron and Alex Vallejo. I want to start with Daz Cameron. What are your thoughts on that guy? It was a rough year for him. In the bigs.
In the bigs, he got there. He was exposed.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't put up numbers in the minors at all. He's a tools guy.
Yeah.
So he's got all the tools. He's a 5-tool player, but he hasn't shown that he's a good baseball player yet. So you're just waiting for like a guy like Grady Sizemore with the Indians. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, I remember
throwback center fielder. Right?
Oh yeah.
He was terrible as a pro in the minors for a while, and then 1 year he just figured everything out and was hitting 36 bombs in the bigs.
Yeah.
So it can happen. That's what you're kind of like hoping for a guy like that. He has all the tools. It hasn't happened yet. I'm not counting on him working out in the long run just because what I've seen, he has not shown the ability to track the ball out of the pitcher's hand. He looks like he's overwhelmed. The game is too fast for him. He doesn't get his front foot down. Like if you can't get your front foot down and catch up to a fastball, how are you going to adjust your timing to a curveball? And I think if you see guys who are 23, 24 years old with that kind of ability to see and pick up on pitches, pitch recognition, those are the guys that I would personally invest in because it comes naturally to them. You can build on something.
Yeah.
But if they're overwhelmed from the beginning, I mean, good luck.
All right, so a couple more position players. You got Isaac Paredes, who played a lot last year. He was hot start and then just kind of just dwindled off into the shadows, I think is a fair way to look at it. Is that? I mean, what do you expect from this guy? He reached the top 100 last year, or coming into last year.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the top 100 the last couple years.
Yeah, it seems like he reaches his way up, and then the draft happens, and then he falls out.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of that guy right there.
I think his peak was somewhere in the 50s, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
Man, he's a good baseball player.
You like him?
I really do like him. And he's one of those guys, again, like at 21 years old, he's not overwhelmed by the fastball. He's not overwhelmed with off-speed pitches. He is known for being a guy who's patient at the plate but can still put the barrel on the ball anytime he wants.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to watching him play more. He reminds me of Victor Martinez type hitter.
Okay.
Where he kind of has that like low crouch in his
stance. Oh yeah.
But he's just got a smart barrel.
Yeah.
He'll barrel up almost everything. Yeah.
All right. So then I think the most intriguing one out of those three position players for me is Dylan Dingler, mainly because of how important a catcher is to an organization, especially a young pitching staff. He's not going to see any time this year. I think that's fair to say. But, I mean, what do you want to see from him in the minors? Or let's just stick to spring training here. What do we want to see with him in spring training that can maybe be an excitement and maybe jump into that tier 1 category here by mid-season?
It's all about hitting for him. I mean, just put up numbers. Yeah, hit the ball, hit it hard, be a gaps guy. He doesn't need to hit home runs, but just hit doubles, hit it hard. If your average is somewhere 270 and above, that would be awesome for a guy like that.
Yeah.
What we don't know with him is how he hits with the wood bat. I mean, he's a college guy. He only had one really, really standout year with Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that he's a really athletic defensive type catcher. And so they're waiting. They're hoping that whatever he figured out as a junior, I believe it was, for Ohio State, that translates over to the wood bat. And it's an unknown, but he's got a lot of upside.
Yeah. Joey Wentz, coming off of Tommy John, you won't see him. He probably will pitch the second half of the year in the minors somewhere. We'll see. I mean, it's just basically if he ever turns into something, that would be awesome. But he's got the good enough stuff that I think is someone to keep an eye on. He'll probably fall out of the tier 2 this year, but look for him to kind of be that, what was it, Turnbull, that kind of fell off, and then all of a sudden, wait, I'm still here.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget about me, and turned into a pretty decent pitcher for us. But then the name that I actually didn't even think about until I was doing some research, and then you brought him up, was Alex Faedo. This is a big name guy that has had some injury struggles. What do you want to see for this guy? Does he have a shot?
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's kind of short, but he's got a good fastball. He's got good stuff. He's a swing and miss kind of guy. So he's got actually, like if you look in the metrics or the analytics with baseball, he's got a really high spin rate. So that means that when hitters are looking at their fastball, it's an optical illusion. It's actually going to jump on him way faster than what it appears to be. So a guy like Blake Snell, lefty out of from the Rays, actually with the
Dodgers.
Padres.
Oh,
Padres now, yeah. So that's a guy who lives at 95 miles an hour, but hitters, it appears that it's 98, 99. It creeps up on him because of his spin rate.
Okay.
And that's a big stat that everybody's looking at, or big analytic, thing that everybody's paying attention to now, because it has a lot to do with swing and miss rate. And so Alex Faedo, he's one of the highest in the program for spin rate, and I just think he's got a really high upside because last year he learned how to control some of his stuff. He was one of those really pitch to contact 4.5 ERA guys in the minors, and then he took a huge step forward with his fastball, with his off speed last year, and it was really great to see. I think he does have a shot with the big league club this year. Get up there and see. If you start missing bats early now, you're no longer a prospect. You're just helping.
Yeah. So I don't want to go over obviously all of the. Actually, let's talk about every single one of the tier 3 prospects. Is that okay with you, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm game.
You all right with that? I want to know what you think of Parker Meadows, Kyle.
Oh, nice guy. Real nice guy.
Really
Met him at an Arby's once. Nice guy.
Kyle's over there like, why?
Paid for your fries.
He's like, oh my
He
gosh.
bought me curly fries.
Can I bring up two more names?
No, he didn't. He actually just brought in the Detroit Tigers 3 home run box score, and they got
cheap.
free.
They got free ones.
curly
Yeah,
fries.
you're
I thought he was a nice guy. He was just cheap.
He was just cheap. Just a smart, informed consumer.
All right, Ryan, you kind of teased us early on with a couple names in the tier 3 that you think could work their way up. I don't want to get too far into it because we're already going along a lot longer than
I don't care. We're talking Tigers, guys. Come
yeah,
on,
no,
now.
I mean like just the whole length of the episode. But
all right, so Franklin Perez.
yeah,
He was the centerpiece of the deal with the Justin Verlander trade with
Okay.
the Astros. He was 19 years old, I think, when we traded for him, and he has been hurt ever since he got to the Tigers.
do I get Alex Faedo and Franklin Perez mixed up all the time?
Yeah,
I think I do.
because
Yeah.
Alex Faedo is a former first-round pick.
Okay.
But Franklin Perez, we traded for, and he was the number 1 or number 2 prospect in the Astros system at the time when we traded for him.
Okay.
And so it was
a
huge
big name.
Yeah, it was a big return.
Why is
And
he tier 3 then?
well, he's
Injury.
been injured. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that was an honest question. Like I didn't know.
I feel like that was
yeah.
a shot at the Tigers organization. As a
No,
whole.
not at all. I didn't. If he was first rounder, I didn't know why he fell to tier 3.
If
Yeah.
he can have some sort of I don't know, if he can make sure that his arm is healthy for a full year, I think he will jump up the list of prospects. And I don't think he'll make it to the big leagues this year because you don't want to rush a guy like that who hasn't thrown a ball in 4 years. That's not fair to throw him into the big leagues. But if he has a healthy year this year, that could prep him for a big year the year after, next year. The other name on this list is Bryant Packard. He's a 5th-round pick from the 2019 draft, I believe.
Okay.
He was a former first-round name always around.
Like coming out of high school
Yeah,
type
like
thing?
conversations, yeah,
Okay.
and even in college. But he had a kind of a disappointing junior year, and that dropped him down draft boards. It was a steal for the Tigers to get him in the 5th round. It was awesome to see, and then he just raked as soon as he got into the rookie ball.
Okay.
His first 3 stops, I think he was hitting over 300, and
What
a few
position
bombs.
is he?
So he was a left fielder or a third baseman coming out of
Okay.
college, but the Tigers actually announced that he has been moved, or they're prepping him to be a first baseman now.
Interesting.
It is interesting because Torkelson's the third baseman, pretty much a first baseman in the long run.
Yeah.
But the more that they can kind of have a backup plan for all these different positions, I'm okay with that.
And if you groom
That's
him to
smart,
be
yeah.
a really good first baseman, he becomes potential trade bait too. You got to remember, a lot of these guys are going to be trade bait for when this team's ready to trade for the missing piece.
Yeah.
Because you want, look, there's tier 3. How many names are on there? They're not all going to be on the Detroit Tigers. That's for dang sure. So what can you turn them into is the next thing. And if you can develop a guy like that to be a solid first baseman or versatile baseball player,
Get something for him.
boom, get something for him that someone's ready to take a shot at. So I did have a little bit of the pitchers here. This is more of just a projection. I'm not even sure how legit this is because there were so many names that were missing. But the rotation basically, this one has it set up with Matthew Boyd, Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize, Michael Fulmer, Spencer Turnbull, and Jose Urena. Again, I already said it earlier. I think Skubal and Mize will start in the minors. I do, because mainly service time. And I'm curious are there guys that can kind of fill in and be a starter to make sure that happens if that's the way that the Tigers go.
Did you guys get rid of Supernova?
Yeah, I think he was on a 1-year deal. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure.
Yeah, he was.
It's going to cost you the World Series.
That's why we're not going to win, huh?
He got hurt last year. That's why we didn't make it.
That's why they couldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. But anyway, I mean, that rotation, I don't know. Well, I don't think we should probably even get into the rotation at this point. We have so much baseball here in the minors. But do you have any thoughts on what we're seeing here and some names that I kind of put on there that are more intriguing to you?
I mean, definitely Michael Fulmer. If he can have any kind of similar season to what he was when he was a Rookie of the Year and future face of the franchise and the pitching staff, he showed some pretty good stuff last year, but teams just mashed off of him.
Yeah.
So he was not commanding anything. Everything was right over the middle of the plate.
Do you think they rushed him back last year a little bit? Or do
No,
you
I don't
it was
think so.
It was okay to do that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely okay, and he's a competitor, so I think it was perfect for his psychological, advantage. Even though he got shelled, that would propel him to work harder, and now he's got his feet wet, I guess, and he can jump into the season and know that whatever he did last year, he can just improve on it, not just get out there. That was the first goal, get out there.
Yeah. I mean, are there any other names that you think are so there's some other names on here that were non-roster invites. You had Zach Hess, Derek Holland, Ian Kroll, a couple other names nobody else has ever heard of. But I thought Derek Holland was an interesting one because he's a veteran guy that can maybe at least start in the rotation. Let's say you do a 6-man rotation or something like that, but give Tarek Skubal and Casey and this is where my brain is. So tell me if I'm wrong. Just tell me to stop talking about it. But this is the way to get them in the minors: is bring in a guy like that, have him in the rotation until you can bring him up for free, basically. What do you think about Derek Holland, Ryan? Does he have a chance at making this team?
I think he has a chance to make the team. I don't think he has a chance to make the starting rotation.
No.
Not to start the season. To me, he's a guy like a Tyler Alexander, where he's a good piece to have. He can fill in here and there, and for long innings, he can bring you from the 3rd inning to the 8th, here and there. But he's not going to be. I think the Tigers are at a point where they have a little bit too much talent to put those guys on the field.
All right.
And not to say they can't go get the veteran to flip them, at the deadline,
Yeah.
but they're also, these guys are competitive again. So they're at the point where they're expecting to play. And if everybody in the locker room knows the best players, then the last thing you want to do is throw the 5 most average players out there when you have 5 better players.
Yeah.
Better pitchers.
That makes sense. And honestly, I get that. It's just,
and I'm not
when you
saying
look
I'm
at
not
the
saying
service time,
I'm not
like-
saying Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal are going to start. I think one of them will. I think
Yeah,
one out
at
of
least one of
the
them will.
trifecta will start.
yeah. Before I don't know if are we good with pitchers. Is that enough for pitchers? Micah, did you happen to pull up the coaching staff? I meant to bring up a little bit more about them earlier on, and then I forgot to.
You know who's got a sweet last name out of your bullpen? Out of
Who's
the
that?
bullpen? Funkhauser.
Funkhouse. That's a great,
It's a great name.
he better have. So you know how like
He
pitchers
should be
have
a
their.
singer
So
or
I think
something.
he's kind of a bullpen guy. But you know how like what was your guys' closer's name that did the Hell's Bells?
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, Mariano. Yeah, people have heard of him.
Insulted by the stupidity of that question.
Mariano Rivera had that Hell's Bells song. It's like he better have like a funky song, like just like a little jazz
Play
or
that
something
funky
like.
music, white
Yeah.
boy.
Oh, that would be great. That would be perfect.
Uptown Funk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
there
work
you
too.
go. Yeah.
That would be good. But I did want to, Mikey, could you tell us a little bit about, or at least the names and where they kind of came from, the new coaching staff? Obviously, AJ Hinch, the big name. That's the one that I think Tigers fans are really excited about. I don't want to get into it, but that is the
Right.
name. He was in Houston. He won the World Series. The big old scandal that he had nothing to do with.
And he managed.
He
Perfectly.
only managed.
He
the
managed
team.
perfectly because they won.
But
He
who
did
did
his
he?
job.
Yeah.
Who did he bring in to fill the I guess pitching coach, hitting coach, all those things? And
Yeah, so people from Michigan, I mean, you may or may not know him, but Chris Fetter, he came in from the University of Michigan, actually.
yeah,
He is
To be
their
the pitching
their
coach, right?
pitching coach. Yep.
that's quite the jump for a pitching coach from college to MLB, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how I like that.
Ryan,
One thing
Ryan
that-
does not sound sure.
One
of
thing
this.
that I heard about him is he's very analytical, and that's why AJ Hinch liked him and wanted him, because he's, from what I heard, and this was just on the radio today, was they talk about him as being like the next analytical genius for the game of baseball. I mean, what good is that for a pitcher?
I don't know. Just keep him healthy. That's all I ask.
Right? Yeah, don't get too crazy. But I don't know. I'm excited about that one just because he's a Michigan guy. But
So
they always work out.
I think the other one that's interesting too is
Beeline.
Chip Hale.
Chip Hale. So where?
Yeah.
So he is
He came from the Nationals. He was with the Nationals for
Great.
3 years.
okay.
He was their bench coach, and in 2019, they won the national championship,
Also known as the World Series.
World Series. Sorry, that was
Talking Michigan.
totally
Yeah.
idiotic.
threw
He's
me
got
off.
Wolverines on his
He
eye.
just did throw me off. Yeah, it was like Wolverine. Yeah.
What the? No.
My brain's somewhere else.
He got to the last
So-
four. Final four.
That was good. That was good.
Oh, dang nabbit.
No, I like that. Just have a new coaching staff. Like, get all of the good old boys out of there. Lamont, Gene is gone,
Gene's
thankfully. The McClendon
McClendon,
gone.
Lloyd
So
McClendon.
glad
Oh,
he's
Lloyd.
gone. Like, I'm just glad that they're out of here and we can learn new names to blame. I'm really excited
Yeah,
about
there you
that.
go.
So-
Yeah, there you go.
So Chip Hale is going to be third base coach. You're going to see a familiar face at first base, Ramon Santiago.
I love it.
I do like that guy.
Yeah,
Let's see.
he was
here.
awesome.
George Lombard, bench coach.
Okay.
So
No idea who that is.
Yeah, I'm not really
Well-
sure who that is.
George Lombard, he came from the Nationals and the Dodgers. So his last stint was, I believe, with the Dodgers. Yeah. So 2016 to 2020. So
So he won a World Series with him.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reigning
also a
champions.
national championship. So
Also known as National Championship.
AKA.
My favorite part about this is AJ Hinch. People forget the way he brought the Astros to prominence, and it was with young players. They were the worst team. They were the laughing stock of baseball
100
for
lost
3
seasons.
years.
Yeah. Back to back, I think. Yeah.
And it went
right up
from
the Tigers'
it went
alley.
from that to one decent season to the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
And it was with young talent. And if he can, I don't know, just know how to prep these guys mentally to give them the confidence when they need it, and also just hype them up when they need it. Then that's the perfect recipe for with our team where we are right now.
I think this is the one. So I guess the jury's still out with the Lions organization. We'll see. But this is you have the coaching staff that is there to win whenever you're ready to win, I think. I guess you could say that with Dwayne Casey too. So who knows what I'm talking about. But I was just thinking about, like, you have
See the Lions hired?
the organization behind winning in the next 5 years. Who knows how many years it'll be till you're actually winning and being contenders. But you have this window now of you have everything in place.
There's expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing to say. And I expected 2021 to be like, all right, we signed X, Y, and Z free agent. We're spending money. That's how we're ready to win. No, they went out and got I think, a very good manager, and he built a good coaching staff. We'll see with Al Avila, but I don't know. It's a step in the right direction, and it's not just a placeholder like I think Ron Gardenhire was hired to be.
What's wild is I think that all 4 of the major franchises in Detroit have actually got their front offices set correctly for the first time altogether.
The front offices,
since a long time.
Well, I still don't like Al Avila.
Well,
but
I don't trust him from his previous moves. But where we're sitting, it's not bad at all.
That's
He's
true.
a scout.
That's
You
a really
gotta
good,
remember,
that's
he's
a really
scout.
good way to put
spot.
it.
Yeah.
And that's probably unfair to me to look at it that way because it's like I don't like what he's done. Like the moves that you can actually, put on paper and almost look at it as like a math equation. It seems like he's lost every single one of those moves.
Yes, it does.
But then you look at where he's at now, and he has 5 of the top 25 prospects. That's really good. The second best.
They've had 3 number 1 overall picks, or 2.
I know,
at least.
yeah, but and that's I know.
Wait, they're saying who's number 1?
The Rays.
Yeah,
Rays.
shortstop for the Rays. I don't remember his
Well,
name now.
they
He
also
is
have
a
the
stud.
best
Best farm system.
farm system.
Team
Yep.
overall, they do.
Yeah,
Okay.
farm system. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
So, what's going to define
That's
Avila's
international
legacy,
pool,
though,
Yeah, that's
is
true. Yeah, that's a good point.
the moves he's going to make and the guys he's going to give up and the guys he's going to get in return.
yeah.
I think it's going to be make or break on, who are you giving up and who are you getting in return? Are you getting enough in return? And are you giving up too much?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the fine line of, how do we become a contender? Now
Yeah.
that we've collected talent, what's the magic recipe to make us a winning franchise?
Yeah, this is your shot. Don't screw it up. You
Right.
you tore it down. You're building it back up.
Do we get Nomar
Don't
Mazara?
screw it up.
Yeah, I believe so.
Dude, that's a good signing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like that one?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about the position players. I don't want to go through every position because Kyle will probably strangle me by the end of it.
No,
I
I
just like blaming you.
might do that anyways.
But anyway, yeah, that's true. Ryan, what position battle do you really look at? So I don't want to go through it all. If you want to bring up anything you want to bring up here, but basically what I heard from AJ Hinch in an interview is that there are 3 or 4 positions that are ready to be won out of training camp. Can you pinpoint which ones those are?
Designated
least-
hitter, number 1.
Yeah,
Number one. I think catcher's a big one.
yeah.
I think Grayson Griner, Jake Rogers, that catching battle right there, because that's not just offensive. That's how they're working with these young pitchers.
Okay.
And if they feel really comfortable with the pitch calling, with how they just set up, how they frame, that's an individual, almost like a relationship with each one of those pitchers. So that'll be one to watch. Grayson Griner versus Jake Rogers, catcher. The other one to me is going to be third base, Isaac Paredes and Harold Castro. I was big on Harold Castro going into last year, and unfortunately he got hurt in the middle of the year. The other one I was really pumped about was Willie Castro, and he was a breakout player. He had like 350 something for the Tigers last year.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the starting shortstop for this team, which is awesome. But Harold Castro was the other one that did not really get his chance to shine. And since Isaac Paredes is such a young, a really, really good prospect, but he's still a prospect.
Yeah.
And so I think Harold Castro might beat him out, I guess.
So the funny thing about Harold Castro is you have him as, so I pulled up a depth chart, and who knows how accurate it is. It's just from MLB.com. But Harold Castro is actually the second name listed under first base and the second name listed under third base. So I found that pretty interesting. Is he going to be that kind of utility guy in a lot of ways, but also probably getting a really good bulk of the starts?
I think he will, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's good enough where he's gonna land somewhere.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of
And
big.
it's got to be third base, right? Give Isaac Paredes a little bit more time to develop.
Honestly, in the end, I hope it's second base. I hope he lands at second base, and he
Even over Jonathan Scope?
let's trade him mid-year. Jonathan Scope,
Yeah,
ship him
I
off.
would
Harold
love
Castro
that,
be the second
yeah.
baseman. We got Isaac Paredes, Willie Castro, and Harold Castro. That would be an awesome infield in my mind.
Castro to Castro, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be
Can
a
we
little-
call him
little-
Harry?
Yes.
Yeah, Harry.
I don't care what you call him. I just wanted to hit.
For sure.
I love when we talk baseball because Ryan just turns into a baseball guy.
I love
It's
baseball.
so good. It's so good. All right, so let's look at the
I just want to
outfield
coach T-ball.
real quick.
I'm going to use these strategies.
Actually, I turned him down because I don't want to right now.
Real quick, the outfield as a whole. Robbie Grossman was signed to be the starting left fielder to kind of give Kristen Stewart a little bit more time to develop. Not so much pressure on him. Jacoby Jones will probably get the center field start, basically because he was hot last year until he got hurt again. And I don't think Derek Hills is ready to compete. But then you go over to the right field here. You got Kristen Stewart, Victor Reyes, and Daz Cameron. Where are you kind of going with that one?
I don't understand how Victor Reyes is not one of the starting outfielders.
But then I should also throw in Nomar Mazara in there that I actually put on there, but you brought him up like as you were excited about him, so he's probably fits in that right field.
I think Nomar Mazara is the hands down starting right fielder for this team going into this year. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's actually a pretty good right fielder. He just has some hitting things. He was one of the best hitters out of his group of prospects. He just hasn't really found his way quite yet. I don't think Christian Stewart he's got a unless something happens with him mentally, he has to completely regroup in his mind, like who he is as a hitter and re-identify himself as a hitter. And it's going to take a special hitting coach to get him there.
Yeah.
Not to say it can't happen because he has crazy pop in his bat, but he is late on fastballs. He's early on breaking balls. It's a recipe for disaster. And Victor Reyes last year was maybe the MVP other than Willie Castro. He's probably the MVP for the Detroit Tigers. So he
would
will
like
be
to
a
see
starter.
him get some time.
He's going to be the starting center fielder in my mind. Him and
he'll-
Jacoby Jones will probably bounce back and forth.
Yeah, I think it's going to start as Jacoby Jones personally, just because they want it to happen so bad. You know what I mean? Like that's the story. That's the story that an organization wants, is a Jacoby Jones to work out. But I mean, that guy has so many peaks and valleys. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's not a good hitter.
On top of that, the injuries, right? It's like
he's just not a good hitter.
That's a problem in baseball.
Remember, he was hitting like we were like 2 weeks into the season. You guys were like, "Hey, he's second in the NMLB in OPS right now," and I'm like, "Guys, he sucks. He's not gonna hit."
He's calling our
he
crap
didn't
out
really
too
slow
early.
down until he got hurt, though.
He did.
Did
he?
he?
Just didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably stopped watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to have a little bit of fun. I mean, that was fun. I love talking the Detroit Tigers.
If we went like 45 minutes too long, I don't apologize. I don't care.
I don't care either, because this is a
Baseball's a lot of
short.
fun.
Look, I cut out topics. Like, we were only doing like a 2-topic show technically, because I figured Tigers deserve to just to be extra long. But we did want to have a little bit of fun, and we'll see where this goes. But you don't know. But anyways, basically what happened. What?
Nothing.
I always have to explain myself.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know that. This is.
Explain what?
Give yourself an
This is
out.
why we love you.
We could have a ton of fun, but who knows? I mean,
This
we
might
might not. Yeah.
I should probably change the. Here we go.
Don't hold me accountable.
But basically, what happened over the last week, I think, Lorraine Groves, who's the daughter of silversmith Greg Groves. If you haven't heard of him before that, I mean, who hasn't heard of their favorite silversmith? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're
Everyone's
saying.
But
got
anyways,
their
I
favorite.
have no idea what you're saying yet.
I have his trading card upstairs, but he crafted the original Lombardi trophy and wants an apology from Tom Brady for him tossing this year's version as if it were a real football to tight end Cameron Brate during the team celebration from boat to boat. He literally tossed the
It was awesome.
It was so
the
cool.
funniest thing I've
And
ever
we
seen,
actually
yeah.
do have her sound clip ready for our listeners here.
And it takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours go into it. It just really upset me that this trophy was disgraced and disrespected by being thrown as if it was a real football. I didn't sleep for the past 2 nights because of this. I was that upset because I know the passion that goes into this trophy and how my dad and all his fellow silversmiths are so proud to make this.
So proud.
I personally would like an apology,
Yeah.
not just to me and my family and
all
the
the
other
silversmiths.
silversmiths, but to the fans.
All the silversmiths.
All the silversmiths.
Now,
Oh,
I
man.
sit, every time I hear silversmiths, I'm like, are they related to Micah Smith?
Oh, hey, can we circle back
Yeah.
To,
she sounds like a circle backer.
as if it was a real football? has she watched football lately?
No.
Like,
did you hear? No
When's
way.
the
underhanded it.
last time you seen a QB in the NFL throw a football like
Two
that?
hand toss. Yeah.
Two-hand, like underhand, like. I love like the drunk Tom Brady too. He was like like he reminded me of Trav drunk. Like we've all
I
seen
can see
Trav
that.
drunk, but
Yes.
he was like the shoulders up, like like, you know. Like, this
And
is
also, the dude's got 7. Okay, he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't care about the
Yeah.
trophy anymore.
exactly. He
No.
doesn't at all.
No.
But I mean, if
I think
she's
she should thank Tom Brady for getting so much publicity to what a silversmith even does.
Right?
I've never even heard the term silversmith.
I've never heard of it. I've heard of what is it, the blacksmith?
Yeah, and
That was
maybe
blacksmith.
blacksmiths use silver that time. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna judge them on that.
Oh, and it's her dad didn't even make this one.
I know.
Like it's not
Like,
even.
And who knows if he even made one? He was the original designer. He probably did it out of like clay, and then they just took it and like who knows like what happened. But
This one was
like,
3D printed. You guys
I
know it was
doubt
3D
he
printed.
didn't. I doubt he even made one. Honestly, I feel like it's a wise tale. I don't.
Right.
I think he lied to his family.
Maybe it's
About
just
what
a
he was
story
actually
told to sound
doing.
important.
Yeah,
I
there's
tell
a
my
good,
family
Is it a
stories like that all the
wise,
time.
wise tale or
Like-
wives'
It's
tale?
definitely wives.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
You definitely said wise tale.
Usually I say things
That
right
is a
every
wise
time.
You
tale.
guys ever heard? I had a great wise tale.
That was
the
a
other
one
day.
smart tale.
No,
We
but I mean,
nail it on the
she's-
first go.
so she's offended by what they did to this trophy. Did she know what they actually do to these trophies? Like,
Did you see
I would.
Gronk
I would-
bunted a baseball with it the next day. Did you see the video
I
or not?
didn't see that one.
It's
No.
got a big dent in it now.
Like, can you imagine what
Nothing a
these guys did
silversmith
back in
can't
the
handle.
80s?
Right, with a
These
hammer
guys
on it.
definitely snorted coke off of these things back in the 80s. Like,
They
there's
still-
no
they
question. They
still
probably still
do.
do. But I mean, you have that, but then you just look at the Stanley Cup. You don't want to
Thank
know
you.
what happened to the Stanley Cup.
Exact. I was just
People
going
have
to go
done
there.
some very, very disgusting things with that thing.
Yeah.
And that's the lure. Like, that's it. That's what's exciting
That's
about
the
it.
one.
Yeah.
There isn't like what 51 of them. 50
No,
of
there's
them
two.
now?
There's two. There's a
Yeah,
replica that they
correct.
keep as like they put it. Yeah, but I don't want to get into that.
I
but
touched
anyway,
it,
like,
Sam.
yeah, I don't like that.
That makes me. It makes him so mad.
Yeah.
Makes him so mad.
It was just all right, right?
What part
I
of your
just put my
body
hand
did you
around it.
touch it with?
Tip on tip.
In my, in my arm, and I took a picture.
You went pit to cup.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was pit. More.
What year was it?
Ah,
I don't know. The Blackhawks had just won the cup.
Doesn't matter.
He's so mad at me for doing this. I didn't know it was such a big.
I would fart on the cup then.
Anyways,
I wouldn't do that. No, but I mean, she. This is embarrassing for her and her
Oh, so
family.
embarrassing.
yeah.
It's not good.
I mean, she
Not a
was
good
looking
look.
for just for she was looking for some kind of publicity.
She
I don't
sounds
know
like a
what-
real silversmith daughter.
Yeah, right. Little spoiled.
Stay away
brats.
from those silversmith daughters.
But anyways, it got me, and honestly, the sports world. I'm not going to pretend that this is the first. We're the first ones to do this topic, but who do you guys think owes you an apology? Like, as childish of an apology you feel like you deserve, like this woman Lorraine. I mean, is there anything that comes to mind? I mean, for me, the first one is Blake O'Neal for trouble with the snap.
He has trouble with the snap.
Yeah,
There it is.
I mean,
Was
he
that
was
the
he was
snapper or
he was
the
the
punter?
punter. He was the punter.
I
He
just-
could
you
have
gotta-
done it. The snapper deserves some of the blame too. I
Sure.
but I mean, you didn't have to twist your body and just throw
Oh,
the ball
he pitched
to
it right to.
somebody random.
Sure,
I know he was
blanking
a
on his name, but-
rugby punter, but
Right.
I mean,
I just felt so bad. He got those death threats, and he got like.
he didn't apologize. He should have
Oh, he did-
apologized.
yeah, okay,
he should have
yeah.
literally come out instead of Michigan Nation and be like, "I apologize for that.
That's
I am
true.
embarrassed for myself. I'm going back to Australia." That's what he should have said.
Yeah. I mean, he threw it right to him.
He literally threw it to him. He could have done anything. He could have thrown the ball up in the air.
What a moment.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was
So
awesome.
that
So
was
awesome.
one that came to mind for me. I have plenty more that I can go off on. But do you guys have anything that comes to mind?
I
So
do.
I have one where an apology. I'm trying to keep this to Michigan, right?
It doesn't have to be Michigan.
But where an apology is literally, even though it was tendered, is completely useless and helps nothing, in my opinion. And it's Jim Joyce.
right?
Just because he did apologize and
He
was
did, with
sad
tears.
and I get it, but you took a perfect game.
See,
Yeah.
and that's where I actually thought about that a little differently. I don't think Jim Joyce's apology was great. I thought he did
So good.
He did a
Yep.
really good job.
Agreed.
He handled it perfectly. That's when I'm like, I think the MLB deserves to apologize for not changing it, not
that.
making it happen, and going
Sure.
against the grain and be like, F this. It was a wrong call. This is a perfect game.
Give it
No
to 'em.
question in our heads.
28
We're going to
out perfect game.
we're going to
Only one in history.
we're going to put this in the record books. This is truly
Yeah,
a
you're right. He gets
perfect
one
game.
more.
He got one
He
more.
got one
He
more.
did it better than everybody else.
So I don't know. I agree. Jim Joyce, he came to mind, but he also did apologize. So that's
He
where
did,
I'm
but
like,
I'm just saying, like, even in that,
it wasn't
man.
enough. It wasn't enough. But that's where I think the MLB should have stepped in and been like, no, screw you, Jim Joyce. We're
Yeah.
giving this guy his perfect game and moved on. Kumbaya, you know.
Sure.
Ryan, is anything standing out to you?
I'm trying to think of. You've got some really good ones, kind of.
You can use
triggered.
them. Go
yeah.
ahead and use. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more of like you have a better one that you need to bring
You
up.
you want me to? Which one? You the Luke Glendenning?
Yeah, that was like he
He-
does owe you an apology.
Yeah. So this one is
It's
literally
personal.
to me. He deserves to apologize. And this one's not petty, I don't think. Do you think it's petty?
No, not at all.
No. He broke my collarbone.
Just because he was bigger and better.
Hold on.
Dude, I
wouldn't go
do I-
that far. I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
He wasn't bigger at all, right?
Quick disclosure. I don't generally read these before we get here.
We knew.
I didn't read this at all. Are you talking about that? Luke Glendenning broke your Sam Walter.
You didn't know this?
No.
Sam
You never told me that.
Your Sam Walter.
Yeah, this collarbone. No,
he
so,
broke your.
Yeah, so it was Kenwood Hills, you know, the tough and rumbled Kenwood Hills hockey. It was the regional championship,
Yeah.
and we were playing against East Grand Rapids.
Can
And
somebody
who-
tag him? If
Yeah, I don't think he's on any of the social medias, but we should probably try to reach out to him,
Right.
see if he would apologize to me.
right.
Maybe this would be like our first
Has to. This has
professional
to happen.
guest to come on the podcast or something.
Right.
And he
Good
just-
bet.
and if he should apologize to me. But anyways, yeah. So, you know, midway through the first period, we were down 6-1 or something like that.
Oh, so it's going well.
Yeah, going really well. Coming up the board, dude, he smoked me so hard up against the board. Clean hit, but he broke my collarbone.
Penalty
and-
or not?
No penalty. No,
penalty.
it was about
No,
as
I'm saying
clean.
you don't think it was. It was clean.
No, it was
It was
clean.
clean,
It
yeah.
was clean, but he literally like shattered my.
Right. Just
It was-
bigger, faster, stronger, better looking.
Oh,
Uh,
whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
I've never
All right.
no idea what he looks like. Even.
He's a good-looking guy. Just
He was.
Dang, Ryan knows us good-looking guys.
Look,
You got to call it like you see it, right, guy? That's all
just
I do.
did. Just did.
Yeah.
and it didn't
I would
end
do the
there
same.
though. It didn't end there. Like
Better hair.
if Luke Glendenning, East Grand Rapids high school hockey
Hold on.
player,
Ryan
broke
just
my
said-
collarbone.
Ryan just said better hair as well.
No way. No way. Maybe.
He's got good hair.
He does have good hair.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But you got that. At least
But it-
somebody
but
on the Red Wings broke your. That's pretty.
yeah. But it didn't stop there. So I would be okay with somebody breaking my collarbone and moving on.
Yeah.
But then he was the captain
I'm not
for
okay
the
with it.
University of Michigan college hockey team.
Sure was.
One of my dreams. Then he went and played for my hometown Grand Rapids Griffins, his hometown too, but
Sure did.
he played for them. He wore number 33. What a jerk, right?
That is
That's
your
my
number.
number. It should be retired
Hey,
for me.
what if he actually did that to spite you?
He
What
probably
if?
did.
So
Oh,
like a
man.
doppelganger is like your lookalike, right?
Right.
Celebrity lookalike. This is
Yes.
like a celebrity career doppelganger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
But more handsome.
now he's playing for the Griffins, making $1
Better
million a year, and I'm sitting here with you guys on a podcast.
I've
Like,
not been paid
I-
at all.
Dude,
so-
Wow.
Several millions.
talking about Luke Glendenning. No, but
I never.
I felt
honestly,
like our
all the years
careers
of
would have
knowing
gone the
you-
opposite directions if he didn't break my collarbone. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Yeah.
You should have broken his.
Right?
Then you'd be even right now.
Would've
I
taken a
never knew that
sledgehammer.
about you. I never.
I
knew
can't
that.
believe that. That's
No.
crazy. But yeah, that
But
was.
he does owe you an apology for sure.
Yeah. So Luke Glendenning, if you're listening, you owe me an apology, and I think it's fair. I think we all agree that that's a fair.
That's right. Reach
fair
out,
one.
Luke. Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the bigger man here,
Right.
since that's what you were back in high school too.
Be the bigger and better man here.
And better. Better.
Sophomore
looking
year
better.
too, so
better
I was
hair.
$120, maybe.
I mean, you basically smoked a child there, Luke Glendenning.
Right?
He was just this
He
little
felt
guy.
so good
like,
about himself
Feel
too.
great about it, Luke Glendenning.
Yeah. Gosh, what a jerk. But if you're listening,
man.
we love you.
Yeah.
Please.
Big fan. Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan.
Nice hair.
But Ryan, do you have any that comes to mind? Micah, I mean,
No, I'm thinking when the Wolverine. Well, actually, I'm thinking Lloyd Carr's boss in 2007. That's what I'm thinking of.
How drunk are you right now?
Well, I wanted
Wait,
to
are
bring
we
up
talking
Lloyd Carr.
actually
Lloyd
Lloyd-
Carr.
are we talking Lloyd Carr or are we talking
Dude, I
something
am.
else?
That started basically a legacy of Michigan football of just coming up short, just not
Just
being good,
Putrid.
just terrible,
Yeah,
and the worst stretch
So is-
in Wolverine history.
that's when it started. When
That's
he
when it
left.
started. When he left, yeah. I mean, Rich Rod
Yep.
coming in, and whoever's decision that was, they owe us an apology.
Yeah, I like that. They do.
Yeah, that is
Terrible.
That is a good one.
That is a really good one.
I mean, how did he leave? Did he just kind of
I think
retire, or was
not-
he kind of pushed out?
Not from what
So
I remember. This is just off of memory, but he was
getting pushed out.
He was getting pushed out. Yes, they
So-
wanted to go to the spread offense style, quick type of game, like everybody was having success over on the West Coast.
Wasn't there some small infractions looming?
Not that I remember. You might be right on that.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
don't
I really. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Or the 2013 when
Completely
We're just making that up.
Wolverines lost to Ohio State.
Sorry, I wasn't sure.
I
And that play where Ohio State was short.
Yeah. And Micah, look, can you let
Oh, you
Micah
got
finish
it?
this
Oh,
one? Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that
Micah,
was the one
I steal
that,
it?
that's
Micah's
the one
got
that irks me,
yeah,
man.
Micah's got a lot on that. It was on my list too, but I think that's Micah. Can you go
So
move on with that one?
yeah. So I am calling this man out. And this guy, I think he was the head of the crew that day, but Dan Capron.
You
and-
owe us an apology.
Oh, well, him and the replay booth.
Now.
So earlier before the show, I was reading up that he basically doubled down on his call. It was him and the replay booth, and it appears to be more the replay booth, actually. The replay booth, according to him, said they didn't have the view they needed. So why on earth in 2016 did we not have a camera at the yard to gain?
Yeah, true. Agree.
Why is the only angle from 10 yards behind in like the mid or upper bowl?
He was short.
You can see that photo.
It was fourth down.
From the camera, and the dude was short.
He was short. Fourth
I
down.
mean,
Easily
Dan Capron and
by at least 3 yards.
the whole replay
That's one
crew.
of those things where I remember people saying
yards?
like
Wait, hold on. Was it that much?
I remember people saying like just the cliche, well, they should have won it earlier in the game. They shouldn't have gotten No, I'm
No.
sorry.
That's not the way football works.
That one play they would have won.
Yeah.
Just
I hate
call it
that.
the right
I
way.
hate when people
They
say
earned
that.
it.
It drives
They
me
would've won.
nuts when people say that.
Yeah.
Well, they should have
Well,
done
they
this.
missed
They
this, punt
should have
in the
won in
first quarter.
overtime.
Well,
Stafford should have drove against the Cowboys after the flag was picked up, and the refs blew it, and Des Bryant was on the field with his helmet off, screaming at the refs, and no flag was thrown, and
You got another
they
one you
picked
wanna
up the
bring up?
pass interference, and
he's off the rails. He's
that
off
was,
the rails.
yeah, that's another one. But John, on our Facebook comment, he said Matt Millen needs to apologize for his
Oh, that's a
draft
good one.
history for the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
Amen.
I want
So
one for
bad.
Darko,
I
too.
think
Whoever
that's a good one.
drafted Darko.
And that could probably move on to the Ford family and the way they handled Matt Millen and let him linger so long because,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a disaster.
The
That was
greatest-
really, really bad.
Who drafted Darko? Who was in charge then?
Oh, that was
Thomas?
No, that was what's his name? That was
Dumars?
Dumars.
Dumars,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Joseph
The
Dumars.
greatest draft of all time.
cannot miss any prospect in that.
the
Cannot
whole
miss.
first round is great.
It's literally the best draft
Dwayne Wade, Mello.
in sports history, not just
Right, yeah.
You could have even gotten Chris Kamen. He was better.
He
right.
would have been, yes.
Grand Rapids guy.
So yeah, I did bring
Oh,
up
man.
the
So many
Dallas, the
apologies.
pickup flag, but there was one other one that stuck out to me was the refs in the national championship game, Michigan against Louisville. That block that Trey Burke had that they called a foul. Oh my gosh, that was the cleanest block you would see since Tayshaun Prince against
Man.
whatever
Reggie
his-
Miller.
Reggie Miller. Like this was a perfect textbook block, and they called a foul. It absolutely changed the game.
Yeah, you're right. I totally
Um,
forgot about that one.
That one really drives me nuts, and it is. Yeah, that's probably an example of people that are like, well, you should have worked through it, play through it. No,
Yeah.
that
Well,
was
he missed
a
one
terrible
shot.
call, and it changed the whole dynamic of that game. Not only was it like a crucial call in the minutes, but it was like it took kind of Trey Burke out of the game because he was in foul trouble. It was the worst. It was a terrible call. Kyle, you're about to say something.
Foul trial. You said foul.
Foul trial.
Foul trial.
That's not what it's called?
Foul trial.
Foul trial?
One you have on here, I love the pick, and I hate it for everything it is.
Yeah.
Ken Holland.
Yeah. Okay. I put that as a question mark. So you hate him for it?
Listen,
like, he
so-
just
thanking him.
Okay, so let me
Should be thanking him.
let me give respect where it's due to him in the early days when it was our heyday, when there was nothing in our way, nothing stopping us. But in the end, holy crap, we were in Cap Howell. We were in such we were on bad terms with everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
we're still getting rid of guys.
Yeah. For where we're at right now,
It's
he definitely
horrible.
deserves this apology. But
Dombrowski, not that different.
he had.
There's some heinous contracts in there
Yeah.
from just
Well,
a business side.
So
It's
Don't
different.
look at
it's
just
different
this year.
because of where
Look-
he brought them.
Look at all the last 3 to 5 years. Why did we do what we did with contracts?
because we were trying to keep that streak alive, and I get that. Like, that was such an impressive streak. They wanted to hit that 25 number so bad.
Okay,
Look,
cute, great.
I don't like it. I agree. Like, it sucks. And he has some bad contracts and also some bad no trade clauses. I think that's one of his biggest downfalls. But it's like you couldn't work your way out of it. Heisman's doing an unbelievable job, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I put him on there as just like, I hate where we're at right now, but I also understand why we're at, and it was why we are where we are, and it's because it was actually really, really cool time in Detroit, and he
In
was
a
a part of
25-year
that.
playoff run, there was a lot of pressure to keep that going. So he sold the whole franchise basically to make sure that kept going as long as it could.
Yeah, for sure.
And eventually that will burn you.
Yep. Well, let's move on to our betting hero topic of the day. So usually this is when we do some picks, but obviously there's not much to really pick, like to kind of compete. So we're taking a nice little break to be not against each other. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I said it perfectly.
Yeah.
No, we know.
But Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about betting hero before we kind of get this topic going?
Yeah, sure. So Betting Hero is a website that basically just lists out, that does all the work for you. It takes everything that's available in the state of Michigan or whatever state you're in at the time, and if you want to get into sports betting, it will basically deliver all of the best promo codes and signing up options that you have directly to you, and it lays it out nice and easy. It's basically bulleted for you, so you choose what is right for you at the time. And for most people, it really should just be each one of them. You know, if you have a deal in 4 different places, that they'll match your down payment or whatever, your deposit. There you go. It's free money, right? You just go in, make the easy bets, make the easy money. It does the shopping for you, and if you go to bettinghero.com and use the promo code MIBETS, that will get you into all of the Michigan opportunities. Basically, any Michigan opportunity, any digital sports betting that you want to get into, they will give you the platform to sign up to give you the best promo code. You just need to remember MIBETS, and it'll lay it out for you.
Awesome. So I cannot forget to crown a champion for our betting here.
I thought we passed this.
I
This is
thought
why I left last week.
I teased it last week, and
I need
I
to
forgot
leave it.
to bring it up. But
Trav's
anyways,
picks.
our
Trav's
final
picks.
week, Micah went 4-2 for a 61 and 63 overall record. He did bring up the rear. Kyle was right ahead of him. He went 2-4 with his last week in the Super Bowl week. He went 64 and 60 overall. Ryan made a push, but he went 3-3. 68-56 overall, and I was the champion with a 4-2 overall week, 70 and 54 overall record.
Let's move on.
Football. So you guys can refer to me to whatever you want, as long as it's nice.
Jack.
Dang,
Okay.
nabbit.
Like King
Okay,
Kyle really
CEO.
doesn't. King Sam doesn't really work,
No.
but
Just jackass.
but anyways, so we're gonna take a little break from kind of making picks against each other. But what we're gonna try to do is give Trav. Everybody knows Trav that's listening to the podcast. We're gonna give his pick of the week. I'm gonna try to come up with a nice parlay for Wednesday. So when people are listening to this episode, if you're into sports gambling, maybe jump in on here. Jump on board with my parlay that I'm doing. And if you prove that you signed up on bettinghero.com and you happen to lose the parlay, let me know. I'll buy you a beer for sure. But you got to prove to me that you signed up on bettinghero.com. That's
good
the
point.
key.
Yeah.
Promo code was what, Kyle?
And my bets.
Attaboy.
And we will know.
All right, but anyways, Trav's pick. So it's tough kind of looking ahead without football. You can kind of look ahead at football lines, but here it's a little bit tough. But Trav, he's very confident in the under in the Michigan basketball game that's coming up. He thinks that they were above and beyond what they were going to do, kind of playing out of their shoes. He thinks it's going to be a little bit of a letdown for them. So he's going to put his money on the under. For my Wednesday parlay, I got the Blackhawks minus 1.5 against Red Wings. Monday it went into overtime, and I feel like hockey's that sport. The better team is more likely to win, and I love that 1.5 because the empty netter is the key. Chicago's a good team. Red Wings actually played really well against Chicago, and they still lost in overtime. I feel like tomorrow, Wednesday, it's not going to go as well. And I think Chicago minus 1.5 is a good way to go. For me, on top of that parlay, I'd put the Maple Leafs at minus 1.5. They were up 5-1 against the worst team in the league, Ottawa Senators, on Monday. Only before Senators came back and won 6-5 in overtime. The coaches and players in Toronto's locker room are too proud to let that thing happen again. They're going to win this game. They're going to win it big. I like the 1.5. If you want to get a little bit more of a payout, maybe tease it over there. Like you can move that to minus 2.5, get a little bit of a better payout if you want. But I really like that. I think this game could be a blowout. So Maple Leafs minus 1.5 is part of my parlay. Also, I mean, parlays, the key to parlays is adding on games that that are not necessarily good payouts, but you have to get it right to make it a good payout. So I put in the Celtics, who have lost 4 of 5, including to bad Wizards and bad Pistons. But the Hawks have lost 4 straight in 7 out of 8. I'm going to put the Celtics just to win. I don't like messing with a lot of the covers when it comes to NBA because so many things can happen. But I think the Celtics are going to find a way to win. I think the better team, and that's just all you need. And then on top of that, I'm going to put Tennessee to beat the 14-5 Tennessee Volunteers to beat the 5-9 South Carolina, whatever the Gamecocks. And then also 17-3 USC to beat the 7-9 Arizona State. So that's where I'm going with that. That is my parlay. So you got Blackhawks minus 1.5, Maple Leafs minus 1.5, Celtics to win, Tennessee to win, and USC to win. So jump on that if you want to.
It's pretty solid.
You don't have to.
That's
like
good
it.
advice.
Like
I might
yeah.
just do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But here we go. We got some odds. I wanted to talk really about some players that are out there. You got some big-ish names in the sports world that are coming out and are getting moved. The biggest one is where we're going to start is J.J. Watt. So J.J. Watt came out and basically demanded a trade, right? Is that what it was? Or he said, I'm not playing for you, so they released him? Was that what happened?
I think they mutually parted ways.
Yeah, I think he got himself in trouble when he was talking about the locker room and the culture there. And obviously Houston's been the worst franchise to be involved with for a little while here.
Yeah. But what I wanted to kind of put you guys on the spot here and see how close you're paying attention to the J.J. Watt sweepstakes, if you can consider that. I personally wouldn't even want him, even if I was ready to win. But anyways, the J.J. Watt sweepstakes. Do you guys have? I didn't really think this through very well. But who do you guys think are the leading odds in Vegas for getting J.J. Watt?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Pittsburgh.
Why Pittsburgh? Just because of the
brothers
relationship with him? I'm thinking more like the Browns. Like, they actually need another counterpart to I always blank on people's names. You guys know that about me? But
the guy that hit the head with the helmet thing?
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett. I think what they are really missing is teams. He is so good. He can get to the quarterback either way. But if they had another guy that could get to the quarterback other than Myles Garrett, that would really improve the Browns. I think that's just a logical fit.
Where's he from?
I
can't remember.
J.J. Watt?
No idea.
Yeah.
He played
Wisconsin.
college.
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
That's where he's originally from?
Then
Or like
my-
college, you're saying?
Like,
Like,
what's originally from?
where
What do
did
you
he
mean?
Like,
grow
where did
up?
he grow up
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
kid?
I don't know.
Can you look that up? But he's also
I
played.
was just gonna throw like
He also played in the
will
state
that
of
play
Michigan,
in-
Central
yeah,
Michigan.
you know.
He played for Central Michigan before he played for Wisconsin.
Yeah, you don't want him on the lines.
No.
I'm gonna say Green Bay. Yeah, wait, where's it? His brother is at the Steelers.
Steelers, yeah.
yeah.
That's the other one for me.
Yeah, he's a
Alright.
Wisconsin boy,
He is from originally from Wisconsin. Interesting.
born in Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
Wisconsin.
I mean,
know he-
where he grew up and spent part of his childhood.
Yeah,
couldn't tell ya.
I know he ate a lot of Subway, so they must have a lot of Subway back then. In Wisconsin.
For sure.
I would also say the Seattle Seahawks. That seems like a lot because they overpay for those kind of players all the time.
They are honestly not even on the list. And
Oh,
there
really?
are 1, 2, 3,
Man,
six,
they just when I think of overpaying for like an
13
older
teams on the list. They're not even on it.
an
It's
older guy, like
They have
that would
done
be the
that.
other one.
Yeah, they have certainly done that.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, you brought up the Browns. They are leading the way at minus 150. That means you'd have to put $150 just to win 100. So that's a pretty big favorite.
Wow.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
When it says minus?
So then you move, So then you move on to the Packers, who are second at plus 500.
So
Steelers.
the lower the number, the
Let's
better.
go to bettinghero.com.
Well,
They'll
it's the
walk you
minus and
through
the
it.
plus.
I don't know how to do any of it.
We're just talking.
Promo code
I would love to
MIBETS.
explain it to you. Steelers plus 550, Bills plus 700, Buccaneers plus 750, Ravens plus 1,000, Colts, Cowboys plus 1,400, Patriots, Rams, 49ers plus 1,600, Titans 1,800, Dolphins plus 2,000.
I could see the Buccaneers.
You like the Buccaneers?
I could see that now that you say that. Yeah, that would make sense to me just with the whole, Tom
Well-
Brady getting the veterans.
Well, Shaq Barrett, they're probably not going to be able to afford him.
Yeah,
so They're
exactly.
going to look for J.J. Watt on a
Yep.
deal.
Sue and Ndamukong Suh, same thing. Who knows where he's going?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He could kind of feel that Sue roll.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm really struggling over here.
Easy for you to say.
I'm drinking sours.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap.
I gotta get that off there. That was the one I should have deleted.
I know. He sets it up over here and he leaves it on.
It's
here.
like number one.
I just keep
Q1.
hitting that one.
All right, but we do have.
Shortcut.
We'll move quickly to the second name here is Andre Drummond. And we were going to talk a little bit about something, but the Draymond Green clip probably not worth playing.
The whole thing?
Not the whole thing. Maybe just play a little bit of it.
How long is it?
It's 14
2.5
hours.
Yeah, go
2.5
for it.
minutes. Just
you
play a
want
little.
some- you want
Just
some
play a little
background
bit.
or
Yeah,
not?
just put a little bit on there.
I would like to talk about something that's really bothering me, and it's the treatment of players in this league. To watch Andre Drummond before the game, sit on the sideline, then go to the back, and then come out in street clothes because a team is going to trade him. Because when James Harden asked for a trade, but he was castrated for wanting to go to a different team,
It's a strong
and
word.
everybody destroyed that man.
He Googled it.
And yet a team can come out and say, oh, we want to trade a guy, and then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer, and he's not good in someone's locker room, and he's the issue. But teams can come out and continue to say, oh, we're trading guys, we're not playing you, and yet we're to stay professional. At some point, as players, we need to be treated with the same respect and have the same rights that the team can have. Because as a player, you're the worst
All
person
right,
in the world. when
you can
wanna
cut
fix
it
the
whenever you want,
situation.
but
Let's cut
But
it.
he sounds like an idiot.
No, he
Does
doesn't.
he not?
Nope.
Does he not understand the way that the world works?
That's the most logical argument he has.
You are a worker, and people pay your bills. Who cares? If they're telling you not to work and they're still paying your bills, just do what you're told. Shut up.
And you're not
the-
getting
the-
paid $10 an hour. You're getting paid
The
Millions
The
and
problem-
millions.
The problem with the Andre
He's got
Drummond thing
leverage,
is that,
guys. Come on.
that it's in his best interests.
Right?
It's in
Drummond.
Drummond's best interest to not play.
No, Drummond wants to play. That's the other side of this.
Drummond, I'm not sure really wants to play.
No, that's the other side of this. Is Drummond
he barely
is
wanted to play when he was in Detroit.
Drummond is mad that he is not playing, and now he has a bad attitude in the
It's
locker room.
about
Of
the
course,
men. Yeah.
yeah, because they're going to try to trade him, and they're not playing. I don't like where the NBA is going with this. Blake Griffin's doing it. Drummond's doing it. It's the team saying, "Don't dress. We don't want to risk losing you." Or getting an injury or something like that, and now we can't. Now you're no longer valuable. I don't like the precedent that this is setting.
You may not like it, but from a business standpoint, it just makes too much sense. Especially like Blake Griffin, even more so.
But again, when a player doesn't do it, then he's the worst kind of player that you can have.
When a player
Okay,
does
so
it.
when a player doesn't show up to work, he gets in trouble. But when someone tells him not to show up to work, they're in trouble. Like that is the opposite of like he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. That is the opposite of this world.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Well,
I was just trying to play devil's advocate.
I was about to be like, what?
Somehow
this is the opposite of what was going on.
Somehow I knew.
The guy's an idiot. He's an idiot. He sounds like an idiot. And if you watch the video, he's literally reading from a script. He had this totally played out. Somebody handed him this script and was like, dude, this is your chance. Talk about how bad you're treated as an NBA player. The NBA is a players' league, hands down, no question. They are treated way better than any other player in any other league other than quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Other than that, NBA players are treated like they're absolutely 1 out of 750,000 million people in this world. This is bull crap. And for him to come out and say this, it really drove me absolutely nuts. Because you are a worker. You're a worker. Show up to work. And then you have people that are literally out of jobs in this world, and you're going to talk about, oh, they're telling me not to come to work, and they're still paying me freaking millions of dollars? What is he trying to accomplish with these stupid comments?
Well,
I heard this and I was pissed.
It's like
Still am.
Really?
As if he. It's like this man as if he didn't know what he was getting into. Like, I could be traded. I could be.
State.
I could be
totally
benched.
does.
You know, like what didn't you know about getting into a game being your job and you being paid millions to do so?
You also,
what are you missing?
You all know the rules. You all know how this works.
Literally
You
signed
have
a contract.
You have your CBA. You have everything like that. Yeah.
No, I agree. He signed a contract. But again, the contract is that he is playing. If he doesn't think if Andre Drummond wants to play, and the coach and the team is telling him he should not play, to me that there is something wrong with that. I get the whole business side of it, and they're the employer, he's the employee, so that does make sense. But at the same time, that was a mutual contract.
Mm-hmm.
He is the best center on that team, even though the problem with Andre Drummond is everybody wants him to be. Yeah, he is. Everybody wants him to be a 25 point per game guy. He's not. Stop acting like he's the third best player in the team. He's the fourth or the fifth. But he's one of the best centers in the league if he was just treated like he's the fourth or fifth best player in the team. I don't know. That to me, it's just like the team. It's the Cavs, and it's also the trend in the NBA. Don't get anybody hurt.
Yeah. I was going to do the kind of odds games for that, but I'll just kind of go through the list of the odds for
It is
Andre
weird.
Drummond.
It is funny, though. We're talking about Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. They're in exactly the same situation, both with the Pistons, and we thought we had something. Like that was
with those two?
Yeah, front office definitely needed to change.
Raptors.
Good point.
Raptors have the best odds with
back,
plus
baby.
250. Celtics 300. Hornets 500, Trailblazers 700, Nets 900. Is there a team that really fits, Ryan, that you think fits for what Andre Drummond brings to the table, or is he basically just what did you say? Lakers.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Lakers are down at the plus 2,000.
fits with
So put
LeBron
$100. But it's also you got to fit them though.
No,
too. That's the hard part.
I think it's another one of those where if like even the Celtics again, I'll bring up the Celtics because they have the worst big men in the league.
Yeah.
But a team like the Lakers, a team like even the Clippers,
How was Dallas not
Taco?
listed?
You don't like Taco?
Dallas is actually
I do. I love
love
tacos.
Dallas is actually plus 1,300. Just after the Clippers, who are plus 1,100.
Yeah, but again, my point is when you expect Andre Drummond to be a scoring machine, like shame on you. He's not. He is not Shaq.
It's your problem, not his.
Yeah, exactly. Like stop giving him the ball over and over in the post and expecting him to do something for you. He could be DeAndre Jordan, 60 to 70% field goal percentage guy, and if he was just getting offensive rebounds, he'd be one of the most valuable players in this league.
Yeah.
So shame on the NBA for not knowing who he is or what he is
And putting him in a
This
position
early.
to fail.
Stop giving him the ball.
Yeah. Right, let him get the ball.
Real quick, Blake Griffin odds. His next team is going to be Miami. Miami is leading the way at plus. Don't even play trouble with snap. Don't even. Oh my gosh. Miami
start from the
is
beginning.
plus
Start from the beginning.
270.
Who are
No,
we
I'm not
talking
even going
about?
to try again. All right, we're talking about Blake Griffin and the odds of his next team. You have Miami Heat at plus 275. Oklahoma City Thunder at plus 325. Boston Celtics plus 350.
Maybe.
Charlotte Hornets plus 450, and then you
No.
got the Lakers coming in at plus 600. You got a few
Maybe.
more teams on there with odds,
I
but
could see Lakers.
one-
I know
making
Lakers-
a
which one
do you guys like
for
there?
one of these guys.
The Lakers fit with so
kind
many
of
of these
felt
big guys.
was
because they don't
the
need him to score.
Well, yeah.
Boogie
Yeah.
Cousins though? Boogie Cousins kind of fit that role last year for the Lakers, right?
He did.
So he would kind of come in. I don't know the way the cap, like how it all works. You'd have to move a lot. What are they willing to give up in that situation? But I mean, Lakers seems to be a good fit for him. He'd
Well, 'cause
probably love
nobody's-
to go back to LA. He flies to LA after every game.
Nobody is going.
Fly with
Nobody's going
private
to walk
jet.
in and then say to Anthony Davis and to LeBron James, like, "I'm the guy." You know, he's not
Good
going to
point.
throw a
Yeah.
fit about not getting the ball.
He would fit. He's a good professional. He would understand his role.
He's the
come
best
in and do
offensive
that.
rebounder in basketball.
Yeah. Kyle, can you play the beer grade read, please? It is time to grade our Michigan beers for this episode, but before we do, I want to once again remind everyone of our partner, Siciliano's Market. They are simply the best beer store in West Michigan, located on Lake Michigan Drive, right between Grand Valley State University's main campus in downtown Grand Rapids. Wherever you live in West Michigan, it is worth the short drive for what they have to offer. Whether you know what you want or you need some help from their expert staff, Siciliano's Market is the best place for that. They not only have a massive and up-to-date inventory of the best craft beers from across our great nation, they're individually priced so you can mix and match to build your own six-pack. Along with their great selection of craft beer, they have specialty wines, spirits, ciders, coffee, tea, tobacco, and cigars. They also have the largest selection of homebrew and winemaking supplies in West Michigan. We love that Siciliano's Market is part of the State of My Sports family and is who we visit to help us choose our Michigan beers for each and every episode. So please check them out and let them know that we sent you.
Okay, so he just told it. He just.
Oh, look at the head on that.
We did the read here that Sam successfully read, but then Sam, after reading that, ran up
Just
to the
took off.
bathroom.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done for the night.
does
Too many
any-
beers.
Does anybody want to start with their beer grade? Anybody know where they're going? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll start with mine.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Want to remind everyone that I'm drinking from Right Brain Brewing CEO Stout. It's what is it? They're chocolate espresso and oatmeal, 5.5%. It's another beer that's easy to drink. I've gotten a lot of easy to drink beers on this podcast the last month or so. It's got good flavor, easy to drink. It kind of, I don't know. I wish there was more punch, more flavor.
It's too easy?
I think it's too easy.
You like stouts too, right?
That's a much
I like
better.
stouts.
That's a much better beer on draft than in a can, I would say.
You've had it on draft?
I have.
You like it
yeah,
on draft
that's when
better?
I really enjoyed it. I had Applebee's like 6 years ago,
Okay. All right, so I got to try it on draft.
Yeah.
and that was a nice restaurant.
I'm gonna.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
You're
wrong.
poor.
You're wrong.
Like all of us.
You're poor. You're wrong.
I'm gonna give this beer a. I'm gonna do a 7.3.
7.3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was that the first grade? Or
It
was
was.
somebody else's?
Yeah, no, he's first.
Yeah, we
Alright.
finished.
We talked about some other stuff. while you
I
were
figured
gone.
you guys. I was like, I was going up there. I was like, oh, I'm going.
I took
You-
my headphones off.
you-
I didn't even know where the
I don't even
radio
have
was on.
the.
You do understand every time you leave the room, we start talking trash, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
next. I'm
That's
going to go
good.
next. I had
As long as he knows.
Left Fin IPA. This is the West Coast style IPA from MiddleCoast Brewing Company in Traverse City, Michigan. 7.4% alcohol. And I think I brought it up earlier, but they wanted to take away the when everybody's going with the sweeter hops, and they
Okay.
went more towards the bitter and more towards what, like the heat.
The heat.
Like a little spice, like a
Really?
spicy, hop.
Do you know which hop that is?
Their words, not mine. I wouldn't have stumbled like that. But this is really good. I actually
You like
really,
it?
yeah, I really do. I appreciate like the color. It's an awesome color,
Yeah.
and it's
Real
super,
solid.
super easy to drink. And again, it's a 7.4, so
That could be dangerous.
it's a solid beer.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm gonna go with a 7.7.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that
That's
every
what I
time.
thought.
You do say that every time.
You're you're
That's a
a
good score.
creature of
Oh,
habit.
that's a good score. That's just the way. That's how I transition this conversation.
I don't know what else to say.
Good score.
Good score.
That is a good score.
Keweenaw Brewing Company. Point Trail Ale. This is a rye PA, right? I was worried it was going to be over malted, which, as Sam knows, can sometimes give me heartburn, or as I call it, the tummy rumblers.
You got tummy rumblers?
The tum rums, I call them.
You got tum rums?
I have no tum rums. This is good.
Good.
I like this beer.
No Tums needed.
Right, yeah, what do you mean? Right. Point Trail Ale. This is 8.0.
Ooh, 8-0.
8-0.
It's good.
All
Very
right,
good beer.
Sergeant Sam, or
Sergeant
Sir
Sam.
Sam, or Supreme Sam.
Not
Your
Supreme.
sister came up with
Not
some
President and CEO.
king names for you. So you got 3 to pick from.
I'm okay with Sam. You
Oh,
just
okay.
call
He's
him
just
Sam.
going to go with Sam.
I call you much worse.
Oh, I
usually.
get what you're saying because I won. Because I won. What were those options?
Your sister came up with 3 options for you. I was trying
How
to
did
be
he
nice.
not? How did he not put that together? Silversmith Sam.
Sergeant
Silversmith.
Sam, Sir Sam,
Silversmith Sam.
and Supreme Sam.
Maybe Sir Sam.
Ryan, no.
Or Silver.
Game. What?
Get that on your just rub it up against your beard and that's all I can
Is it
hear.
Come on,
This
man.
is what
I'm
happens at the
so
end
sick
when
of
we
doing
drink all of this great beer. I am drinking, again, the double kettle.
Two kettles.
that. Doubles.
How do I
Double,
read
double?
that? Is a mango double kettle? 2 times mango double kettle.
Sure.
From
I'm
Arvon
not
Brewing
sure.
Company. Obviously, we love our Arvon. They have such great beer.
Everybody loves Arvon.
Yeah, everybody that I tell about Arvon, like honestly, I introduced Arvon to some guys at work, and they were just like, "All right, we got to go to Arvon. We got to go to Arvon."
Yeah. And then
So
you're gonna.
that's
take
where we're
them
going
there.
on
Yeah.
Thursday.
There's
Yeah,
still
we got
ped-
reservations.
Pedal bike away, right, guys?
I feel like it's
that's a good invite.
It's honestly like they must put something illegal in these beers because you crave it, like nicotine almost.
Well,
It's called alcohol.
Yeah, don't accuse him of something.
It
No, I
releases
know they-
dopamine.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. But I have their sours. Like when I drink one of their sours, I crave it for the next 2 or 3 days. Easy.
You might be an alcoholic.
Is that what it is?
Listen,
John's like, he's like, yeah.
at what point haven't you had a sour you liked?
I
Honestly.
yeah.
Oh, I've had some from them.
From Arvon,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Not from them.
Yeah.
I haven't, no.
I'm so excited
All
to
good.
try Fruit Puff. It came out last week.
What?
Fruit Puff.
Okay.
So it's like a whole lot of different.
Since you're going there, probably on this company's dollar, can you?
It's not going to
can
be
you
on this
get-
company's negative dollars.
Can you get us some?
They're not going to take my debt,
Please?
for beer. That's a proven.
Yeah, but can you
Proven
get me
fact.
beer? That's the
Maybe.
question.
Maybe.
Yeah, just answer the question. would you?
Anyways, I'm drinking the mango double kettle sour.
What's that number?
This is so good.
What's that number. What's that?
I know.
8.3.
Oh,
I was going to say 8-8.
that's good.
I think it's really good.
He's going
I never
8-3.
met an Arvon sour I didn't like.
And I feel like they're hurting themselves with their grades. I don't know where to go with these grades because they're all so good, and I don't know which one I should top. I don't
You
even
could
know which
go
one's leading the
higher.
way.
Yeah, I mean,
But I can't keep going higher because then I'm just gonna end up at like 10.7
Yeah.
before we know it. Episode 100 probably.
I wouldn't feel
Right.
bad.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they probably deserve it. So, anyways, that was episode 94. I had a good time. Thank you guys for recording with us tonight. Really appreciate it, Kyle, Ryan, Micah. Thank you, John. Thanks for hanging out with us as well. Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys for watching on the Facebook. We'll talk to you next week, if not sooner.
subscribe.
Yeah, that's it.
People like to tell me I'm gonna burn out soon, no, maybe worse. Running on coffee and 90 proof.
you again to all our great sponsors, the House Brewing Company and Cafe, Siciliano's Market, Mac Web Design. Also, thank you to Paradise Outlaw for allowing us to use their music for our introduction, Detroit Hustle, and for our out 6 feet down.